非洲野犬是一种中小型食肉动物，也是非洲大陆上最具效率的猎手之一。然而，这种动物目前正处于濒危状态，现存数量仅6000多只。为了保护这一物种，许多动物保护专家都开始了锲而不舍的努力。经过他们的辛勤工作，这一珍稀物种有望从濒临灭绝的边缘逐渐得到恢复。
It's an incredible experience, something I'll never forget.
Wow, this is so special.
So we've arrived at the den.
拂晓时分，塞维古自然保护区内的各种动物蠢蠢欲动。非洲野犬也不例外。摄像师尼尔·费尔利一早赶来，生怕错过任何精彩的场景。
Okay, we're rushing down to the south of the conservancy now to see if we can catch pungui. Apparently they're already on the hunt. They're close to a herd of impala, so we're going to rush down there and see if we can get any action, get some hunting on camera.
尼尔赶到时，非洲野犬已经排成一列，准备出击。他们全神贯注，一场激烈的追逐战已拉开序幕。目标锁定，追捕开始。
Okay, well, no luck today with the dogs. They made a bit of a chase. We had at least 2 dogs that were chasing impala, but it didn't kind of work out the way that they wanted it to. You know, we see a lot of wild dog chases publicized on other shows on TV, talking about how they hunt and the fact that they will wear down prey over long distances with, you know, relay of dogs taking over from one another. Well, that's not what we noticed today at all. It seemed like, you know, we had 2 dogs that were intent on hunting impala, but neither one really knew what the other was doing at the time, and at one point, I mean, we were well within striking distance of the impala. I mean, I could have jumped off my bike and jumped on one of their backs. And the impala just went straight between the dogs. So obviously the dogs were not communicating about, you know, different roles on that hunt. And the impala got away. So 1 to the impala, 0 to Pungwi. But we'll have to see how it develops as we follow more and more hunts and see if there are any methods of communication, and perhaps when you've got a bigger pack that they have different roles. But certainly today, the impala got away with its life, and lucky him.
随着人们动物保护意识的增强，当地许多学校都开始组织学生来参观保护区，以便了解更多关于非洲野犬保护的知识。他们在罗斯玛丽和杰斯的带领下，一起前往灌木丛。
We run a scholarship program. At the moment, we've got 18 scholarship students, and we call them predator scholars. So we maintain the link between the wildlife and the benefit that they're receiving in terms of education. So we've got our 18 scholars here. At the moment, we're at the beginning of the course, and we're just going on a bushwalk, which is a fantastic way to get the kids out, get them understanding about the plants and the trees and the tracks and the termite mounds and the bird calls and bush survival, so that they start to appreciate the ecosystems and the natural world for what it is.
Quickly. Good shot.
So what we're doing here basically is we've actually hidden a couple of wild dog collars, and we're pretending it's a pack of dogs, just because it's more than just a tracking exercise. Obviously we want to get them understanding how to use the telemetry equipment, the receivers, the antennas, but we also need them to understand how to behave in the bush when you are tracking a real live animal. If we just tell them it's a collar, then there's no sense of excitement and there's no real... the behaviour is wrong, so we're trying to encourage the right behaviour in the bush as well as the understanding of the telemetry. But basically what we've done is just hidden a couple of collars, and when they find them, we're going to have someone jump out at them to scare them because they're going to be way too noisy, and then we're just going to make it a lesson of how to behave and how not to behave in the bush. So go find us some wild dogs. Walk that way, just listening to the signal. So even though we know, and Josh was absolutely right, he's picked it up very well, that the signal is not along the road now, it's over here, we're not going to go off in the bush now. We're going to keep walking, and he's going to listen very carefully until the signal is strongest here. Okay, and then we're going to go in very quietly and carefully. Okay?
"一行人紧张地朝信号的方向前进，完全不知道前方会出现什么。
We deliberately hid these guys so that you can learn to pay attention to the sounds of the bush. Okay, so you were walking, you were all a little bit noisy, and then you heard grrr. Okay, and then everybody behaved quite right. Everybody stopped. Nobody ran away. That was perfect. But you stopped and you listened and you looked. Okay, that's what you need to do. You need to listen to the sounds of the bush.
上完这一堂课后，学生们终于可以放松下来，在灌木丛中戏耍玩闹，同时欣赏保护区里壮丽的景色。临近傍晚的时候，杰斯正前往保护区南部，以查看彭龟家族的现状。
Right, so this morning the scouts found Pungwi pack in a really beautiful spot in the conservancy. So it's boiling hot and it's been a really long work day. So I've decided to treat myself and go and sit with my dogs and just enjoy the afternoon. Right, so we've arrived at the spot where the dogs are, and we can still see that there's 13 puppies, all looking very fat and healthy and lazy, and there's still the 11 adults, so that's great, and they're just very relaxed at the moment, but it's still pretty hot, so we're just going to sit here with them and then see what they get up to a bit later this evening. Hearing something. Oh, no, clearly not anything too important. So what's so fantastic about the pups at this age, they're so playful and they'll roll and tumble with each other and just have so much fun. It's so fantastic to watch. Oh, time to wake up the adults. Saying, come on, we're hungry. Discipline for the afternoon. Okay, well, we can see them moving off now, so they're most likely going off to hunt. So we've had a fantastic afternoon with them, but they're going to move off into this thick stuff now and probably go and hunt something. So we are going to call it an evening and yeah, head back to camp.
Hang on, they're chasing something.
Okay, all right, well, let's go. Are you holding on? Now this is when you hope Yuri doesn't fail you. Okay, just hang on then, Neil. Can you still see them?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're there. This is unbelievable. How quick was that? Can you believe it? I mean, I can't believe that. We literally left them about less than a minute ago. They've obviously just opportunistically come across a young eland deer. They've obviously isolated it. I think we saw some of the rest of the herd run off, but we can't be sure. We just saw a bit of dust, and now, yeah, literally the whole pack is on this young eland. It's amazing. They've killed it really quickly, and they're all having a good feed. So, Flip, what an amazing evening. I really cannot believe how quickly these dogs have made a kill. Although, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, considering they are Africa's most efficient and successful hunters. But it's just, I mean, when you see it like that in real time, it's unbelievable. One of the classic traits with the pack dynamics of wild dogs is that they let their puppies feed first. Well, you know, they're not always the first ones on the kill, so the adults that have made the kill will have a good scoff, and then they always let the puppies feed first, which is very different to lions and other carnivores, which will, you know, with lions, the males will eat first before the puppies or before the cubs even get a chance. So I think that's something that's really special about wild dogs. This is a good sizable kill for this pack because they've obviously got a lot of mouths to feed, and a lot of them, as I said, have already had a good feed. So and there's a lot of meat left still on this kill, so they'll probably hang around for a bit if nothing else disturbs them and they don't feel threatened to move on, and really have a good feed this evening. Looks like Jigsaw's trying to come back for seconds. Oh, that's a bit of a cheeky bugger. There's this one pup that's just nipping at Jigsaw. She's trying to get near the kill. You know, the thing is, these pups are getting, you know, a little bit bigger now, and they're getting a bit braver, so they're starting to test their boundaries. And this one obviously thinks it can challenge mom to some extra food. These dogs will not leave anything. As I said, unless they're disturbed. They will strip this carcass completely. So it's really, you know, they kill, but they don't waste anything. All that'll be left is literally the skeleton. Yeah, all slopping down now with big full bellies. What an unbelievable evening, and really just so special to have been able to witness this and to spend some time like this with these dogs. Yeah, sometimes makes all the hard graft and the slog worth it.
塞维古自然保护区即将迎来日落之际，罗斯玛丽正抓紧时间为夜间的行动做准备。今晚她要追踪非洲最大的食肉动物之一，这将是一场有趣的邂逅。
All right, so we are going to try and dart a lion this evening to take a collar off. It's an expired collar. It's been on about 3 years. The VHF signal that we use to locate the animal is not working very well. It's very intermittent, very weak most of the time. And the GPS sort of functioning part of it stopped working several months ago. And there's a lot of collar stored on that, a lot of information stored on that collar which we need to get off. So we're just preparing. We've got a bait set up. We're going to make up some darts. And then with luck, we're going to be able to call the lioness in and take off that expired collar. Using slightly bigger needles for lions than we do for dogs, just because their skin is slightly thicker. It has to go in that much further to get to the deep muscle mass. All right, so we've made the darts up. We made a couple up, just one for spare in case. We're just going to check just now with the telemetry that the lions are still nearby. They were earlier this afternoon. And assuming they're all still right here, we're going to start calling just before dark. And hopefully they're going to come onto the bait and we'll put a dart in. We'll call them using some fairly interesting sounds, which you'll hear shortly. Okay, good. So they're still there. Right, so you can see the bait setup we've got here. Obviously the bait plus the call up is going to attract the lion. The scent from the bait is a powerful attractant. And then we've got what we call a blind of thorn bushes behind the bait on either side, which means that when the lions come in to feed, they will come in front of that and they'll stand sideways on, which gives us, you know, the right sort of darting shot. If we don't have that blind of thorns, then they might well come from behind and just try and pull the bait a little bit around the tree, in which case we've only got a face shot and there's nothing we can do. So it's laid out specifically to give us the right darting opportunity. The other reason it's so good to have a bait, especially darting at night, is because it actually it serves to usually keep the lions close by once the dart is hit. If you don't have a bait and you're sort of free darting, there's nothing to stop that lion that's just been darted running off and disappearing into the bush. And of course, wandering around at night in the dark looking for a half sleepy lion with a bunch of other lions around is not the most sensible thing to do. So with a bait here, what often happens is the dart will hit the lion and then they'll run away a little bit, and then they'll actually come back to the bait and keep eating. And that makes just the whole situation a lot more controllable. Okay, the sound you can hear in the background is a buffalo calf in distress. It's a classic noise used to call up lions and other carnivores. If this doesn't bring in the pride, then there are other noises we can use. One is we call it a pig squeal. It's a horrific noise. Let's hope we don't have to use it. And then sometimes, depending on the group of lions you're trying to call in, you can play a noise of hyenas. And certainly if it's a big pride and it's got some adult males, playing a noise of hyenas really gets them coming, and they come running and spoiling for a fight. Like, where's these hyenas, you know?
黑暗之中，一群狮子很快就朝诱饵走来，大吃特吃。然而，那头带着项圈的母狮还不见踪影。
Okay, well, we've had an amazing evening. We've had a couple of hours of, great lion sighting, but unfortunately the collared lioness didn't come in. So we're going to wrap it up for this evening. We've done our best to call her. We've tried all sorts, but she's not interested tonight, so we'll call her a wrap and we'll maybe try again tomorrow night.
清晨，罗斯玛丽和杰斯从巡护员处收到关于斯普林特家族的异常报告后，立马出发去调查相关情况。
Yeah, so we've just come. Our scouts have reported the alpha female from the Splinters pack here, V, is pregnant again. But I mean, it would be very, very unusual if she was. You know, it's a crazy time of year, so we've just come to follow up, and I think she's there. But did you actually see her?
I haven't been able to see her yet, but the rest of the pack is all around here, so she might pop out just now.
It's most bizarre. I mean, if it's true, it's going to be very unusual. What about there? And she totally is pregnant. Oh my god.
No, is it you sure it's in?
Yeah. Look, you can see that V. You can see, and she's totally pregnant. So this is, what is this? This is late November, it's nearly December, for heaven's sake. And she had, so this alpha female was the same one that had the litter in as normal in May, June this year. She had 7 pups, 5 are still alive.
Yeah.
So what she's doing being pregnant again?
Have you ever, history of the project?
No, definitely not. Actually, when the scouts first reported it, I asked colleagues of mine, and they've never heard of it happening either. So, looks like a first.
History in the making.
First for the wild dog world. Yay, puppies in January.
So, you know, this is obviously really interesting and really exciting for us. So what we'll do is get the scouts just to keep tabs on them really closely. And if and when V does start denning, we'll do the same. We'll put camera traps up and we'll just monitor really closely and just try and figure out what's going on. I mean, now we have no idea why they would be doing this. So.
No, I think we can come up with various speculative hypotheses, but the long and the short of it is we don't know. It's very unusual. It has been a very dry year. That may be something to do with it, but you know, none of the other packs are doing it. So really, it's an anomaly. But it'll be just really, really important to keep a close eye on exactly what's going on, how many pups, which is the alpha male, and how the pack behaves with this sort of slightly out of the ordinary denning event in the middle of January.
非洲野犬通常在1月至5月间怀孕，3月到7月间产崽，因此唯一在11月怀孕实属罕见。工作人员将密切关注斯普林特家族，以评估他们将如何应对这种异常情况。接下来，我们将前往保护区西部，看看尼尔和凯恩为什么陷入了泥沼之中。
Right, so it's nearly dark. It's 6:05, and we followed the wild dogs to this pan on the hunt, and we saw that they were paying special attention to this area here. And we've just noticed, if you look over here, there's a baby zebra stuck in the mud. And the wild dogs were interested. They were going closer and closer and closer, but for some reason they decided that they didn't want to go for it. Maybe they were scared they were going to get stuck in the mud, I'm not sure. Anyway, we're going to try and pull out the baby, so we better act fast. It's nearly dark, so let's go. Seems like it's another young juvenile there.
Yes.
Shame. Wonder how long it's been sitting for. So what can we do, Kane? Duanza? By the front. Try and take the...
由于此处危险的水坑是人造产物，摄制组决定打破不干涉原则，对受困的动物施以援手。
Also gotta be careful. Doesn't bite. Bite it? Yes. Don't let it bite me. Nearly out. It's dangerous. There we go, that's nice. Okay. Whew. It's easy to see how you can get stuck in this. Doesn't seem to appreciate the fact. It's coming. It's close. think you can feel he's close to getting out. Just doesn't quite have the strength or the grip in its back legs to power himself out. And we don't have the power in our arms or legs to get him out. But he's close, he's nearly out. I don't think it realizes that we're trying to help it. It keeps trying to bite Kane, and it's making life a little bit difficult. It's so close. Very close now.
随着天色渐暗，他们要尽快把小斑马营救出来。
Yes. Watch out. It's okay. It's got energy still. Probably just needs a chance to catch its breath. Don't know if it'll be able to get up yet. There we go. Wonderful. Now we just hope for the best for him. Still got a chance with the lions, leopards, wild dogs. So at least he's not going to die a slow, painful death in the waterhole.
雨季终于降临。在重获新生的灌木丛中，杰斯找到了行踪隐秘的马普拉家族。
So we've managed to meet up with Mapura pack again this afternoon. We bumped into them very early this morning. They were hunting on the Shishakwe airstrip. And Kane followed them and found them resting at a nice little water pan not far from here. And this was just a real treat because I'm not sure if you remember, but the last time we were looking for the pack, we were climbing up that little gomo or hill to try and see them. They were still denning at that stage. And because we had to walk in, they were a bit skittish and they were running away. It's also really nice that they've come back into the conservancy because they were denning outside. But unfortunately, they do seem to have run into a little bit of trouble. Two of them are carrying snares. One is very loose, so that's not too bad, obviously, but we will want to get that off as soon as possible and just monitor and make sure it doesn't get any tighter. And then unfortunately, one of the younger males, he's picked up quite a bad snare on his back right foot, and it seems to have cut him quite badly, and his foot's quite swollen. So what our main priority here is this afternoon is to try and get some really nice pictures to see how he's moving on it. He doesn't look to have lost too much condition, which is good, and obviously we will try and stay on this pack as much as possible over the next couple of days, and then try and make a plan to get the snare off. So, I mean, you may remember we were discussing when we were going in to see the den how, you know, Mapura might have been quite smart in choosing to den outside because there's less competition with lions. They weren't too close to the settlement, so they weren't being, you know, shippered too much or worried too much from people. But obviously when they're moving like that on the edges of protected areas, there will be snare lines that they could have run into. And one of the things that's quite sad and really quite troubling to have seen is that the alpha female Ursula is missing. And we can only assume that since the other dogs are carrying snares, it's likely that she's run into some trouble. And in fact, Ruben, our head scout, was reporting that she was missing a couple of weeks ago, but photos now have confirmed that it definitely is her. So we will obviously keep a lookout for her, and if she has strayed off for a little bit and joins the pack, we'll be able to see that. But the chances are that if she's been away from the dogs for that long, she probably has died somewhere of a cause that we won't be able to determine unless we're able to find the carcass.
Such a beautiful pack.
Okay, so as you can see, the puppies have been nicely active for the last 20 minutes or so. So probably going to start roweling the adults up, and the pack's going to head off to hunt. So I'm going to head back to base, and Kate and the camera team are going to follow the dogs for a bit and see if they can watch them making their kill and getting their supper tonight.
然而，马普拉家族突然朝着茂密的灌木丛跑去，摩托车在那里寸步难行。于是，摄制组把目标转向彭圭家族，希望能拍到他们在夜间捕猎的画面。就在彭圭家族出发进行夜间捕猎时，摄制组与他们成功会合。 非洲野犬很快便锁定了目标，并以每小时50多公里的惊人速度狂奔起来。而摄制组连猎物的影子都还没有看到。 最后，摄制组终于跟了上来。非洲野犬拿下了一只成年雄性高脚羚。这是一顿丰盛的大餐，不枉非洲野犬辛苦追逐一番。
Okay, another very exciting evening with the dogs tonight. We're with Pungwi Pack, who, as you can see here, have just made a kill. They've killed an adult impala, which is more or less finished now. An incredible long chase, one of the longest I've ever been on while I've been following the packs out here. And yeah, just over 2 kilometers that was, at full speed. We'll have to review the footage to see who actually was heading up the chase and who actually made the takedown in the end. But I suspect it was either Ten or Benguela, because both of them are very exhausted now. And I feel like when we arrived with all the excitement, they were already there when we got there with the pups. Very exciting chase, and luckily just enough light to make the most of it and get some good shots. As you can see in the background now, we've got some other visitors coming in who get chased every so often by the dogs, but these black-backed jackals are very brave. They're coming right in here and they're just helping themselves to scraps around the kill, where the kill was made, which is just where they are now. They're just enjoying some of the leftover snacks, and I'm sure once the dogs move off or go off to lie down for the evening, the jackals will be in here to make the most of whatever's left. They're very brave to come that close to the dogs. They get chased. Here we go. Here we go. They're very quick, as you can see. I mean, the dogs are blindingly fast, but the jackals over short distances have got them 6 love every time. Anyway, splendid evening. Great for the dogs. They didn't make a kill this morning because we were with them this morning, so I know they were hungry and they were desperate, so they've made a kill. The pack is happy, and we'll try to catch up with them tomorrow and see what's on the menu then. 罗斯玛丽再次准备对狮子进行麻醉。作为保护区里的大型食肉动物专家，他对这类任务可谓得心应手。
All right.
right, well, it's day 2 today. We had that beautiful, really beautiful sighting of the lioness and cubs last night, but unfortunately the collared lioness that we're looking for didn't come in. We've picked up a signal today. She's moved, so we've moved, and she's just behind us in the riverbed, and hopefully she'll come in this evening. Can you just pass me the flag box? Yeah.
工作人员放好诱饵后，在夜色中耐心地等待目标现身。
We've got the collared lioness that we're looking for. She's just come in, so we're going to give her a few minutes to settle down and get really tucked into the meat, and then we'll gradually put a light on her. And hopefully she'll stay around and we won't disturb her so that I can get her darted. So we've just darted her, she's run off, we've got a visual of where we think she is. And she's had about 8 minutes now, so we're just going to go and approach, see if we can get a visual, leave her for another couple of minutes until we properly approach. But she's just behind a bush at the moment, so we want to make sure everything's fine. I need the blindfold.
为母狮蒙上眼睛，既可以起到保护眼睛的作用，也可以防止它受到外部刺激。
To get serum, which we'll use for disease screening. We'll also use some of it for genetics and as part of a study looking at blood parasite levels. There was a second lioness that came in with this lioness. She didn't come to the bait, but she was around, so Kane's just quickly every few minutes checking all around to make sure she's not sneaking up on her, just for safety. One of the ways to age lions is to look at their teeth and the coloration of the nose, and both the wearing of the teeth and the coloration and this ridge here, where it's exposed from the gum. Based on that, she's probably, what do you think, 7, 8? Well, we've done what we came to do. We've taken the collar off. There's no sign of any other problems with her whatsoever. She's a magnificent female in beautiful condition. So we've taken the collar off, we've taken a few samples, and that's pretty much it. So when she's had enough time to process some of the drugs, we'll give her the reversal for the drugs that can be reversed. And then we'll back off and let her recover and hopefully meet up with her sister, presumably, or her bridesmaid who's just nearby. We've just seen her, she recovered really nicely. We've just seen her meet up with her bridemaid, another female bridemaid, which is lovely, and it's always a good ending to see them reunite. And then we'll leave the bait there for them, so that if they do come back, after that trauma of the darting, they'll have a meal. And then successful decollaring, which is great because we've got the collar now with a whole lot of data on it. It's going to be really interesting to analyze.
这次任务终于大功告成。 第二天一早，杰斯受命去调查一处新发现的非洲野犬洞穴。
Okay, so this morning we've come out just to follow up on a spotted hyena den, which our scout Akim bumped into the other day. He was actually tracking Mapura pack, or what he believes to be Mapura pack, and he was following their tracks, and the tracks actually led him to this spotty den. And so it's very close and it's quite accessible. So we thought we'd just come and have a look at these carnivores, which are a little bit more elusive here in Sabi Valley. We don't see them as often as we do some of the others. So Akim, the scout, is up ahead just tracking, and we're just going to go in and then see what we can find. So we've just rounded the corner here, and we could see the den just off in the distance, and there was actually a sub-adult hyena there. But unfortunately, as soon as he saw us or caught wind of us, he's just moved off further north there. So we're just going to go in a little bit slowly and quietly and just see if there's anyone else around or what's going on. So when Mapura came, did you see the tracks coming straight to the den?
Yeah, I see the tracks.
And they just came here?
Yeah.
Do you want to have a look around and see if we can find like a resting or play area? Okay. So what we've been looking around trying to find a spot for the cameras, we've come across this impala skull, which is just another sort of reconfirming factor that this den is is active. And you can see it's quite amazing. They've actually, it shows the strength of their jaws. They've been able to basically chew off the whole front snout of the animal. So definitely my stomach's telling me it's quite fresh. So, yeah. Alright, so we've just finished putting up the cameras and we're just going to move away so that we're not disturbing the den area too much. But yeah, we'll leave them up for 4 or 5 days and then come back and check, and hopefully we'll have some really nice pictures of maybe some newborn spotties in Sabi Valley.
在保护区西部，尼尔正守在彭圭家族旁边，希望能再次追随他们，展开一场激动人心的夜间捕猎。
Right, we're with the Pungui pack today, and it's 5:30. The pack seems to be pretty relaxed at the moment, but I can see the pups are starting to become a little bit more active, a little bit more restless, which normally implies that they're going to get up and go on a hunt soon. So as soon as they get up, we'll join them on the hunt, on the motorbikes. What we've experienced so far by following them is they just accept us as being one of the pack, and we literally just ride with them on the hunt. There's no possible way we could ever do it on foot. For one, it would upset the dogs and other animals, and we'd never be able to keep up with them. Right, looks like a couple of them have got up and they're moving off towards the thicket there, so it's possible they're going to start hunting. So we're going to get ready, get our cameras rolling and join them on the hunt and see what we can find.
《非洲野犬进入树林中寻找猎物。所幸，他们随后来到了一片视野开阔的地带。这种地形十分适合进行拍摄和追踪动物。没过多久，非洲野犬便嗅到了猎物的气味，并开始迈开脚步进行追逐。突然间，他们又回到了空间狭小的树林中，这使得摄制组的工作顿时难以为续。 好在米尔及时追上了跑在前面的非洲野犬，亲眼目睹他们捕杀了一只小高脚羚。非洲野犬喜获猎物的同时，摄制组也再次顺利地完成了拍摄任务。不出几分钟，非洲野犬便把猎物吃得精光。每只非洲野犬都从不同方向撕扯猎物，这有助于它们快速把肉从骨头上分离开来。随后，它们大块吞下猎物，以便在需要的时候吐出来喂给幼崽。作为非洲最高效、最成功的猎手之一，非洲野犬的确实至名归。对于彭龟家族来说，这又是收获满满的一天。